We continue talking business on Checks Daily today, and for that we welcome policy analyst with the Chamber of Commerce Peterborough, Sandra Dueck. Also cross-country traveler.
Yes, flew back into Pearson at 10 to 7. We landed yesterday morning from Charlottetown, so
nice.
It was a great conference. Great to be in the place where Confederation was born. Got to walk around, walked into the room where they were signing. They signed the piece of paper to say, yes, let's take a look at this. And it just you kind of stand a little straighter, like, yeah, this is where it all started. So then what we were doing was setting the business policy agenda that the Canadian Chamber on our behalf will then present to the federal government. Wow. So it kind of brings another level to what we were doing. So there's lots of great topics that we are talking about. Innovation being one of them. We're a big innovation community here in Peterborough. There was a couple of policies with regards to innovation and creating tax incentives and subsidies and expanding current programs so that we can really work toward becoming a leader, because Canada has dropped down on that particular list as an innovator. So there was that, improving labor market. Information and how we get it, how we use it, what sort of data we can see, because it's all public data. So all those sorts of things are really interesting. Trying to figure out what the impact is on I talked about it last week, when we have regions from, say, south of the border kind of trying to cherry pick our businesses to go down there. What is the impact on that? Not saying we should fight back on that exactly, but do we have a strategy on how we can deal with it, how we can figure out how to make here look great, and so that's not even a consideration going to a different location.
Absolutely.
So,
it sounds a little heady.
It is. It is heady. It's very, but it's so exciting. And we had, I would say, 250 people there voting on these things, debating these things, getting up to the microphone, and passionate arguments from either side of the country on all of these issues. We passed one looking into how it would affect GDP and productivity to have a national child care plan. So not even... Wow. You know, all of these neat things that have these roots in what we're doing here. So it's very exciting, and I'm very passionate about it. Another exciting thing that we're really looking forward to is the Ontario Chamber of Commerce is putting out a survey called Emerging Stronger, and it fuels a document that they'll release in January. Mm-hmm. And it really puts together a test of the business climate as we know it. So we're encouraging all Peterborough businesses to fill out this survey. Tell us how you feel about the economy in Ontario, where you think it should be going, that sort of thing.
Where do they find the survey?
They can find the survey at peterboroughchamber.ca.
Okay.
All right. Well, Sandra Dueck, Business 911, thank you so much for joining us once again today, and welcome back from PEI. I wish I was out there with you, because I absolutely love it there.
It was absolutely beautiful. I recommend the trip.
Awesome. All right. And before we get to our roundtable tonight, which is a very cool one, we have to go to Kaylee Bedore, who is out in the field. And let's wrap it up with Kaylee.
Business 911 is brought to you by Nexacom Unlimited Internet. We have what it takes.